I am being forced to quit silver and gold stacking, at least for a little bit. As we all know, life can throw curveballs, and most of the time they're inconvenient. We work hard day in and day out, contributing our time to be able to pay the bills, and on the side, if we're lucky enough, we're able to stack a little bit of precious metals on the side. But every once in a while, finances come to a head, and we have to prioritize immediate responsibilities and obligations before building up any more weight. But the reasons for pausing our stacking journey temporarily aren't always negative. Sometimes it's a good thing. So today, without further ado, let's talk about wanting and needing to take a break from stacking, why it can be a good thing, and why it can take a bit of time. Let's get into it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe as we push hard for 6,000 subs. I've been away for a little while. I've been very busy with work and things outside of work, and I'm happy to be back. I hope everyone's been doing well, and I hope everyone's getting close to their stacking goals. I'd like to show off this wooden watch here for a second. I thought it was really cool. I received it as a gift several months ago, and I just wanted to show it off in this video. Before I started stacking, I was very interested in watches. I wanted something fine and intricate that also served as a piece of art, a statement in craftsmanship. While I don't really pursue watch collecting anymore, I think it played a big role in me starting stacking in the first place. Silver and gold are very beautiful and very fine. They're pieces of art, and they most certainly hold their value. But today I wanted to talk about taking pauses in our stacking journeys. If you're a long-term stacker and you intend on doing it for decades, undoubtedly there will arise times where you can't make your weekly purchase or your monthly purchase to contribute towards your silver and gold stack. Sometimes things happen voluntarily or even against our will that prevent us from stacking altogether for extended periods of time. Long-term viewers of the channel may have noticed that I haven't picked up all that much weight in the past 6 months. Now, with that being said, I have been able to pick up a $5 Indian head, a 1/4 ounce golden ox, and a 1/2 ounce lunar tiger. In between these purchases, I managed to pick up a 10-ounce RCM bar and 10 more Canadian maples. And I'm proud of that progress. It's not like I feel like I'm falling behind or anything, but if it were my choice, I would have stacked roughly 3 times as much as that since January. And the reason I haven't been able to pick up as much metals as I wanted isn't necessarily a negative reason. As a matter of fact, it's a very good reason causing me to slow down on my silver and gold stacking journey. And that reason is simply I'm investing in other areas. It's not the stock market. It's not cryptocurrency. It's not things that I can't hold in my hand or aren't tangible. I am in the process of making one of the largest purchases of my life. And there's a lot of paperwork to go through and plenty of fees. And no, if you're wondering, it's not a house. I already own a home, but it is a very large purchase that is tangible, that is real and is finite. And while I am very excited to reach this non-stacking financial milestone, it has really bothered me that I haven't been able to pick up nearly as much weight as I would have liked. I did miss the boat somewhat in regards to silver because it was down around $32 at the end of May, and now we're up challenging $40 an ounce. And with my average buying frequency, I would have been able to pick up an additional 30 or 40 ounces at the sub $33 spot price. And that does bother me a little bit, but ultimately, when it comes to investing, in my opinion, financial freedom and increasing our income outside of our 9-to-5 jobs, it is still very important to diversify. So while it does hurt me that I wasn't able to pick up nearly as much weight as I wanted, it is for a good reason. Stacking silver, in my opinion, is the absolute best way to save and protect your wealth over time, and stacking gold is my personal favorite way to subtly preserve wealth and grow it over time with no strings attached. If someone is looking to preserve their wealth and grow it, gold is probably the simplest way to do it. You really can't go wrong picking up some Krugerrands and Philharmonics and sitting on that gold stack for a decade or more. History shows that you'll be in a pretty good spot after many years whenever it comes time to liquidate those metals. But despite all of this, diversification is still very important. And I'll say straight up, I am a tangible asset type of person. I don't really like to invest in things that I can't physically hold in my hand and have a bunch of strings attached, a bunch of variables. For example, when you invest in the stock market or like a simple ETF, you've got to consider the fact that the S&P 500 at this point is about 30% tech stocks. It's clearly very, very heavily weighted in tech, in the technological industry here in 2025 versus what it used to be. And for that reason, I don't really favor stocks as much as I used to. While I do invest in an ETF, it's more industry based and it's only got about a 10% allocation towards tech stocks. It's not as heavy as like a Vanguard ETF that you can find on pretty much every investing platform. There are many, many benefits to investing in the stock market. There's really no work involved. You just put your money in there and wait and hope for the best. But there still are a ton of variables when it comes to a bunch of companies that are grouped together inside an ETF. It's my personal opinion that investing in things that are finite and also tangible is the best way to go. Whenever you take a look at land or real estate, the only downside I see in those two assets are the maintenance and taxes in real estate and the taxes on land. If you can swallow those pills, land and real estate, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, is an excellent way to place your money into something tangible that is also finite. And that happens to be where I'm moving a lot of my net worth. And at this current day and time, I don't make enough to be able to acquire these types of assets and also stack silver and gold at the same time. If diversification wasn't important, I would just settle with picking up a quarter ounce of gold every single month along with 10 or 15 ounces of silver. But just like many things in life, it's good to cover all the bases. And as a result, I've had to slow down on my favorite hobby. Of course, these are positive reasons as to why you may have to pause your stacking journey, but there's also negative reasons. Sometimes a transmission goes out. Sometimes you or a family member gets very sick, and sometimes accidents happen. And of course, that is part of the reason why we stack silver and gold. It is to cover these unexpected expenses. But the way I ultimately approach this scenario whenever it comes to negative things that are very heavily financially impacting is I like to keep a good buffer between my expenses, expected or unexpected, and my stack. So what I like to do is I like to keep a decent amount of fiat currency on the side ready to go to cover any types of expenses that may arise. The last thing I want to do is pick up 30 ounces of silver, pay the premium on it, whatever that may be, and then have to turn around and sell to cover an unexpected expense because I'm going to lose out on the buy to sell spread and I'm most likely going to lose out on that premium. So that's not a net positive, that's a net negative. Silver stacking is an excellent way to save and preserve wealth and slightly grow it over time, but that benefit really only begins to show itself after you've held silver for at least 8 months to a year most of the time. Silver and gold doesn't always rally the way it has in the past year and 8 months, so that's why it's important. If you're going to stack, in my opinion, you want to have a decent amount of fiat currency as a buffer zone between unexpected events and your net worth in precious metals. That's just my personal strategy. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but that's just how I prefer doing it. But when it comes to having to stop investing in silver and gold, one thing that I didn't quite expect is even when there's a good reason behind you pausing your stacking journey, you're still going to get the itch to pick up more. There's several 10-ounce bars that I want to buy. There's another tube of Buffaloes that I want to pick up. And there's the 5-ounce Lunar Horse by Perth Mint that's about to release and the quarter-ounce gold Lunar Horse that's about to release, and I would love to pick those up right when they release just to avoid higher premiums later. But ultimately, I may not be able to do that, and that does really bother me because I've been looking forward to these pieces for a very long time, and the designs haven't been released yet, but I am certain they're going to be absolutely beautiful. And with the lower premiums these pieces will have attached right when they release, they also serve as very good wealth preservers. So it is a bit painful knowing that I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to be patient. I've said it before and I'll say it again, silver and gold stacking is a patient man's game when it comes to buying more metals, building up more weight, watching your wealth grow over time. But what I didn't quite realize is that whenever the inevitable times arise that you can't buy any precious metals for 3, 6, 9, 12 months straight, that also requires a ton of patience. The same way we take a ton of joy from picking up new pieces and adding it to our stack and adding that peace of mind to our financial status, on the flip side of that coin, there is a lot of pain in having to pause that stacking journey. And what I really admire about stacking silver and gold is that as I build up my stack and as I hit my metals goals, it keeps teaching me lessons over and over and over, right? When I think I have a pretty good idea of what silver and gold stacking can offer to someone's life, I end up getting proven wrong again because I continue to learn more and more about how it can positively affect your life. But moral of the story, silver and gold stacking, while it is my favorite way to save and invest, it's not the end-all be-all. There are other ways to invest money and produce more income every single month as a result. I'm a firm believer that diversification is very important, and ultimately the benefits of diversification do come at somewhat of a cost. Sometimes you have to slow down on your favorite hobby of stacking silver and gold. So let me know down in the comments below, has there ever been periods in your life, for good reasons or for bad, that you've had to pause your silver and gold stacking journey? How did you manage fighting against that silver and gold bug itch? How did you fight back against the withdrawals of not being able to pick up more weight? And how happy were you whenever you got to resume stacking once again? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please stay safe out there. Keep stacking. Peace.